Here's what's happening. We're going to be talking about targeting because whether it's on Facebook or anywhere else, the most important thing you can do is get your demographics and your targeting correct. And the cool thing about Facebook is there's some things on here that are pretty easy to do that nobody ever tells you about. And I had to spend a lot of money to find out about them, but that's okay. That's why I'm here, to pass all this stuff on to you and teach you how to do it. You're going to know things you probably didn't know were possible. Now I'm going to remind you before we get going that the most important thing is that you transition your mind from being the buyer to being the marketer. So this is about marketing. This isn't about buying anything. I mean, it's about buying advertising, but advertising is marketing, and you need to be marketing. So this is about marketing. At some of the methods here can reduce the cost of marketing on Facebook significantly. Some of these methods are what makes it possible to get the 10-cent clicks on Facebook, and that's the kind of stuff you want to get. I can't tell you you'll always get that, but this kind of targeting will lower your cost. All right, so who wants to target and get ads at the cheapest price possible from hundreds of millions of people that are there every single day? Anybody interested in that? Okay, well, let's get rolling. How to target. What you're gonna discover on this webcast is how to target your email list. You're gonna learn how to target your email, and I mean, if you have an existing email list, you can target it specifically on Facebook. You can target specific individuals on Facebook. I'm going to show you how. You can build a list of, I made the number 8,000 just because that was just a nice number. You can literally build a list of any size that is highly targeted in. You could probably do 8 or 10 or 15,000 in about 15 seconds, and you can do a lot bigger if you want, depending on the niche market you're in and so forth. And you're going to know how to do that when we're done here too. Now that sounds like a lot, but it's actually not going to take that long to do all that. I am going to show you a software tool I use. This can all be done without it, but I thought, I'm not here to sell you on anything, but I have to show you how I actually do it, because then I would be kind of like cheating you if I didn't do that. So don't get, all this can be done without the tool, but you're going to see that it's going to be important if you want to do this, that you possibly want to get this tool either now or in the future. I'm not telling you to go buy it now. The purpose of this isn't to have 50, 60 people go instantly buy this tool. This is so you have it for a reference. So if you decide you want to do these type of ads, you know exactly where to go to get the right tool to help you do it. Okay? So the background, Facebook allows you, the marketer, remember you're a marketer, you're not a product buyer anymore. You only buy the things that are going to improve your business or help you actually market and do that. Buying Facebook ads helps you market, okay? Facebook allows you to marketer to target very, very precisely. They use both demographics and psychographics, and you can also target individuals, okay? So we'll talk about all of these things as we progress. It's just an introduction, very quick introduction. So demographics, most of you know what demographics are: sex, age, income, geographic location, marital status, education level. I forgot race, that's on there too. There might be a couple others I forgot. I just wrote a quick list as I was just typing the word demographics and made the slide. But the demographics are the typical things you know that people gather in surveys and stuff like that. But sometimes they go a bit further, and Facebook goes a bit further. All right, Facebook goes into what's known as psychographics. It collects things like your interests, your hobbies, the books you read, the movies you watch, the places you visit, the groups you belong to, the pages you like, some very, very specific things about you. And what tends to be true is that people that have the same product or service interest often have some of these psychographic interests that are very common. Okay, particularly on Facebook, since you're allowed to like pages and like and join groups. So that particular aspect is really, really true. But you often find like groups of entrepreneurs like yourself, like similar books, like of course everybody's familiar with Think and Grow Rich, right? Everybody knows that. What's his name? Stephen Covey is seven. I forgot the title of his book, but I've read it many times. His seven things about being successful. I forgot the name of the book. I've read it 6 times. I can't remember the name. but that's the kind of things and entrepreneurs tend to have in common. They have all read those major books. And that's true in other niches, no matter what marketplace you happen to be working in. And those are psychographics. I tend to read the same types of even political things. You may not be from the U.S., but I'm going to use the U.S. as an example. In the U.S., if you're an entrepreneur, your thought pattern is more likely to be like what political people call conservatives, and not what political people call liberals, and because liberals don't like people making money, and conservatives think it's great to go out there and help people and make money. Those are generalities, okay? But that's a psychographic. All right, so that does that make sense? So that wouldn't be a demographic, that would be a psychographic. All right, so demographic targeting. We already looked at that quickly in the last lesson, but I'm just going to go through it quickly so you can see what it looks like, okay? When you log into your ad manager in Facebook, it gives you a bunch of demographic options. Now, Facebook, remember, updates and changes around things fairly frequently. So if it doesn't look exactly like this, it's going to look something like this when you log into your space. So just look for something that looks something like this if you can't find something that looks precisely like this. Because I'm not going to change a video every time Facebook changes. I could not possibly keep up. That's why I would never actually do a Facebook product, because it would be out of date and people would complain it doesn't look like the real thing. But you guys are entrepreneurs now, so I know you can use your brains and you can think and you can find something that looks like it. So you can target countries, right? And in some countries, particularly USA and Canada, and maybe even Australia, you have to check. You can go down and also target states and provinces, as well as cities, and as well as postal codes. I believe zip code only works in the US. I'm not positive. Just click it and check it if you need to target a specific location in a specific city where you happen to be. I haven't checked every single country, and I'm not gonna. So I'll leave that up to you. Age, very important. Like if I was targeting for entrepreneurs, I would not choose age 13. I would start at age 35 and above, up to 35 to 65. Now in general, this is a generality, there's more men than women. If I was targeting just demographics, I would make an ad specific for men and an ad specific for women, okay? So I would select men and women specifically. I would have one ad I wrote for men and use only men, and one ad I wrote for women and use only women, okay? You want to get that specific. You can and you should when you're doing Facebook. That's how you're going to increase your click-throughs and know what's really working. Does that make sense? It sounds like a little bit of extra work, but it is, but it's worth it because in general, it can save you lots of money. So I'll do the little extra work to save lots of money. And in reality, professional ad agencies, like the folks that work in my ad group, that's how they do targeting. They make an ad specific for the group, men or women. Now, what's really cool, if you're doing something like, let's say you sell dating things, or things that only a single person would use, or things that only a person in a relationship would use, or somebody who's engaged. Let's say you sold wedding rings, okay? Um, isn't that cool that you can select engaged? um, the single, if you've checked single on yours, then you get all kinds of dating ads on your right side. How do you know? Well, I'm still a single guy, and I get all kinds of dating ads on mine because I have that checked in my profile. So it gives me that kind of ad. I just get them constantly, bombarded with them. It's amazing. But that's how important these check marks are. If any of these apply to a group you're working with, then check the ones that apply. If you only want to target English, then put English in there. If you only want to target Japanese, then put Japanese in there, okay? But if you know the specific, if it's important to what you're selling, put it in there, all right? Education level. Often education level is very, very important. And if you know that your group is almost, is like 60 or 70% college or higher, then you definitely want to target those things in your demographic targeting. It's very important. Now, workplace, it just got clipped in here, but workplace is actually more of a psychographic than a demographic. But sometimes you only want people, for instance, business to business. You might only want company CEOs or company presidents or company vice presidents, okay? So you can this is very, very good for business to business to get people, the right people. Remember, you want to get by that gate guard secretary that's in the way of getting, if you're doing marketing to specific business types, well, those people go in Facebook too, and you can put this ad right in front of them, okay? So you can use your own imagination as to what you could do with that. All right, psychographics, very important. Precise interest. I mentioned this on the last lesson. I'm going to review it quickly because this is very important. The precise interest, you want to do this correctly because you don't want to get the negatives, okay? So I'm going to show you what I mean by that. What do you mean by you don't want to get the negatives? When you type in an interest, let's just say, since I do internet marketing, I would type in an interest, internet marketing in that bar. Now what would happen is if I type in internet marketing, a bunch of stuff pops up in a little drop down window. Some of them would pop up with a hash mark next to it, and some of them would pop up without a hash mark next to it. All right? So you want the stuff without a hash mark. Or, yes, without a hash mark, because if there are groups in there, like I know under MLM for existence, there's a group called No More MLM. So if you put in hash mark MLM, you would also be targeting the people in the group No More MLM. And you don't want that to happen because those people aren't interested in your ads. So you're wasting time. So without the hash mark, in this case, internet marketing, you would be getting people who only want internet marketing, the positive, okay? And that's what you want. You want the positive, not the negative. So do not choose the hash marks. Unless you can verify that none of the hash mark related things are the negative of what you want, I would stay away from the hash marks. All right, does that make sense? So you can do that for anything. So let's just take natural foods. Okay, so you're likely to get something with hash mark natural foods, and of course without the hash mark. So if the hash mark comes up and there's a group that says that's called natural foods are stupid, well, you're going to be targeting them. And if you're selling natural foods, you probably don't want to target the group that's natural foods are stupid. So stay away from the hash marks. All right. Now, I tend to not use the broad categories. Those sometimes, if your ad covers a lot of people in a category, you may want to go through it. You just click the ones you think would be of interest, and then it'll bring up subcategories that you can choose from. And if they look like they are really relevant to what you're doing, you can use them. Most of the time, I do not use them. I can't think of a time recently that I have used them, but check it, okay? Always check it when you're doing your targeting to see if something actually is specific to what you are trying to advertise. All right, if there's any questions now, put them in the chat bar because I see them as I'm going here, so you're welcome to ask questions as we go. Okay, so what you are saying is to write the topic in the precise interest box. Yes, exactly. Yeah, you can just type in the precise interest, you're going to type in there the various keywords or topics, and it's going to give you a drop down that's going to appear over top of this broad categories. So that don't mix that up with the drop down. That's the broad categories is totally separate. When you type in interest, it's going to do a drop down. All right. Now this is the part that starts getting really even more precise that we haven't talked about at all, and that's connections. This is, most of the time you'll probably be using anyone here, but you take a look at these. You always want to click these and remind yourself what you have here, because these are actually exactly what they said. When I did these snapshots, I was on my page, the Wayne Sherer Show. So you see, it gives me a button: target only people not connected to Wayne Sherer Show. So if I did all of those, let's just say I had thousands of people on this. I haven't promoted this page at all, so I don't really have anybody there. But I was just using it to make these snippets. But let's just say if I had 1,200 people on that page, and they were in the same demographic and psychographic that I'm targeting, well, I would come down here. If I don't want to send them the ad because they already have what I'm advertising, I would just click only people not connected to this page, because I don't want anybody already on this page to see the ad. Now, if it doesn't matter, I wouldn't select that. Okay, does that make sense? I hope I didn't say that too confusing. And then we have the advanced targeting. Okay, and it says exactly what it is. Okay, target people who are connected to. All right, so you can put in, and this is stuff of yours. So let's say you have an app that, some people have apps that they promote it like crazy, and they have like 5,000 to 6,000 people using their app. So if you had an app with 5,000 or 6,000 people, and that app does something specific, and you have a new product in that market, you may want to target specifically those people using that app. The same thing if you own a group, you own an event, you own a page, you can put all of those in there. Or target people who are not connected to, okay? So this is where you would do the opposite, all right? Yes, you can put a person in there if the person's name is on the page. This won't look them up. This won't look a person up on their personal page. I think that's what you're actually asking. So no, it won't show a personal pay. I mean, a personal, your login. If I log in as me, the person Wayne Sherer, it won't show that. Okay, but I have a fan page, Wayne Sherer Fans. I have Wayne Sherer Show, and it would show that if I wanted to target those. And if I had an app out there with lots of people, it would do that. And if I had an event, so anything but personal pages or personal, what do you call it? Personal profiles. That would be the right word. Anything but your personal profile would go in those boxes. And then it says right here, friends of connections. Target people whose friends are connected to. Okay, so I haven't found where this is very useful, but let's just say I had a page with, you know, several thousand people liking it. So if I put in that page name in this block, this would target the people liking that block and their friends connected to them, okay? So that's not very targeted if you ask me, and I'm not sure that, I mean, for branding, that's probably very good. For doing sales, that's probably not very good. So I haven't found a reason for direct sales to be using that block, okay? But that is a psychographic. You always think about it. I always look at them every single time and think, do I really need this or not? All right? It's not some magic formula. You just think about it. It tells you exactly what it is, and it isn't confusing. It isn't leaving something out. So don't make it confusing. Targeting your email list. Okay, now you can target your email list. Now to do this, remember, this uses a function in Facebook ads that's only available when you use Google Chrome. It doesn't work in Firefox or Internet Explorer. You have to be in Google Chrome. All right. So the first thing you're going to do is export your email list from whatever autoresponder you happen to use. Okay. So since this is primarily done for my folks in Pure Leverage 7-Minute Workout, I'm going to show you that here, but the process is the same whether you're using GetResponse, iContact, Office Autopilot, I don't know, MailChimp, whatever. But this is looking right now inside of the Pure Leverage autoresponder. So you cannot export the lead capture system names. You would have to do that manually. But in the autoresponder, if you have a list, you can. So you click on the autoresponder, and then you find the list that you want to export. So I have one here for the 7-Minute Workout. If I want to export that and target it, I can do that. I just select it here, and then once I've done that, I click on this drop down and click Export Subscribers. Once I do that, another picture shows up, and there's two things I have to do here. I have to check, I just want email only, and I need to make the field delimiter a comma. The default here is a semicolon. You need to make that a comma. Okay, the field delimiter. Make that a comma. All right. Then what happens is it calls up your list of names, and let me see. I think I have to show the next page to get, well, it actually, you can't see it on there. I guess I did that wrong. I didn't take that picture as good as I thought. But there's a button. Just look on the screen. There's going to be a button that says export. So you just, oh, I know, that's 7-Minute Workout now. There's a button on the bottom of this screen that says export. And you just click it and save that file. Okay, save it as a .csv file. And that's what you do with it, okay? You want it to be some file name .csv, Charlie Sierra Victor, okay? That's all you do with it. Now, if you're, for those of you in 7-Minute Workout, well, I do this. I actually go in here and I manually, you can't export these names. So I manually copy and paste each month's new names into a list and created a CSV file. I do it on a notepad. I open up a notepad, and then when I go to save, I just select all file types and type in the file name, 7-Minute Workout .csv, and save it. And that's how I save that list. One email per line. So every email needs to be on a new line when you manually export it like that. All right? So now, let's get into the Facebook side of it. The way you're going to get to this, you're going to be in Chrome, okay? You need to be in Chrome. And you click on the Ads Manager, okay? Click on the Ads Manager. And this little guy shows up. I think it will show up. This menu item will show up, I believe, on anything. It just doesn't work in anything. You have to be in Chrome for it to work. So then you're in Chrome, you click Ads Manager, you click Power Editor, okay? When you click Power Editor, it's going to ask you to look at all your account name, all of my accounts. I let it download Facebook accounts. It just wants to pull in your Facebook information into the account so you have it accessible. So I allow it to do that, and then you click download and it'll do its little thing, and when it's done, you're ready. Okay, the next thing after this thing finishes doing its thing is you're going to click on audiences, because that's what you're doing. You're creating a unique audience. So this is where you're going to upload that email list, okay? This is how you get your email list into Facebook so you can target it specifically. So the next thing, you clicked audiences, and now you're going to click create audience, okay? Create audience. And then you're going to click custom audience. You see that in the drop down? It's highlighted blue, custom audience. You click that. Once you do that, it's going to ask you to give it a name. You give it a name so you can identify it. You know what it is the next time you go look at it. Okay? You're going to have to do 3 different things. Give it a name. Description isn't required. Choose the file. So the file you just created, that .csv file, that's what you're going to choose right here. And you're importing emails. So that's why all you have in that file is emails. You cannot import names. Although you could import phone numbers if you had phone number list. And we're not going to talk about that, but you can see that you can do it. I'm going to show you UIDs next, but emails is what you're going to import here. And now that you're going to have created a Facebook special audience that will show up when you go back to your ads. There's a selection there called custom audience. So you'll see that it shows up there. So when I took this snapshot, I had 2 private, peer leverage list. One was a list of my users, so the people that are already using Pure Leverage, I would offer them certain things. And then there's the leads, trying to get them to upgrade. So I can actually go directly to my leads. What I did is I put a video in there. I put a video and sent it to my leads and said, hey, you're on my upline, or you're on my downline, and I know you haven't upgraded. What's the problem? I didn't say that, but you know, that was the gist. But that's why that list was there. I took the leads and sent them a specific video because they were in my downline and they could see that ad. All right, you see how powerful that can be? It's amazingly powerful. And let's see. Why did I? Okay, targeting individuals. So that's the email list. Let me just, before we go any further, any questions about targeting your existing email list if you have one? It's pretty damn powerful. All right, so now we're going to talk about targeting individuals, okay? This is very simple. You saw on there that there's this thing called a UID. So that's what you need to target individuals, the UID. So how do we get that? Well, I'm going to use my page as an example, but you just need the URL for a person's personal profile, okay? The URL for a person's personal profile. So we're using personal profiles here. You can actually use pages as well because they have UIDs also. So in reality, you can use the UID for anything, but I'm talking about targeting individuals right here. So I'm looking for, let's say I wanted to target me, I would go call up my personal profile, I would copy this link, and then I would go to a site called, you see it right here, it's called findmyfacebookid.com, okay? you can see that. You'll be able. This is going to be in HD, so the replay you'll be able to see that, stop it, and copy it. But it's called findmyfacebookid.com, and all you do is you paste that URL for that personal page right here, and you click look up numeric ID, and then voila, that's the numeric ID of my page, and that's what you want. All right. So you copy this. You copy this onto a notepad. All right, and you just make a list of however many UIDs you want. It can be 1, it could be 50, it can be 100, it can be 1,000, it could be 10,000, however many you want. So I actually do send ads to individual people, okay? and they do collect them, because I could send a personal ad with that person's name on it to them, because it is going to only them, okay? That is powerful, okay? So what you do is you create a notepad or some sort of text file with one UID per line. There's no fixed number of numbers in a UID, okay? So you see they're all different lengths. So 1 per line, all right? And then you're going to save that. This is what I mentioned before, but on a PC, you want to make sure in a notebook or notepad that you change it to all files, because the default is .text, and you do not want that. You want all files. So you can type the file name in. You'll be able to see this if you can't see it right now, but in the video, if you play this video at full screen, you'll be able to see this easily. But it's just the file name, and you type it in there. File name dot, whatever your file name is, dot CSV, Charlie Sierra Victor, okay? You type it that way, and it'll save it as a comma delimited file. It must be saved that way, okay? That's important. This is kind of the most difficult technical thing there is. But then you're going to do the same thing you did with the emails. You're going to put in a name for the audience, and this time you're going to select that file you just created with Choose File, and you're going to select UID, okay? And now you are importing a list of however many you decided of individuals that you can personally target. Now that is powerful. This is so powerful. This can save you so much money on Facebook. It's unbelievable. And you can get thousands of these, okay? And I'm going to show you how you do that. Now, of course, you can obviously go through pages one by one and do that. And that's actually how I started doing that. But then I had to figure out how I could do that a lot faster and a lot easier, so I did. But that's when you want to target, when you make your ad, okay, let's just think for a moment. We're on the Facebook ads page that's creating the ad, and you will select no other targeting except for your custom audience, okay? You read my lips. No other targeting except for your custom audience, okay? You want to target your custom audience independently to get the lowest price and to know the effectiveness of that ad with that audience. So select nothing else but that custom audience. All right? Make sense? You see how this is refining very specifically on very specific targets. All right. Now, creating massive lists, okay? So I already mentioned you could get as many of these as you want. So you can target large groups of highly targeted individuals by numeric IDs. It can be, if you do it manually, it will be very time consuming. It's worth it to do it individually for smaller groups, but if you want to get bigger groups, there is software out there that does not cost a lot. Don't run and get this if you don't know if you even want to do this yet. If you're not ready to do Facebook advertising, don't run out and buy this software. Wait until you're sure you want to do this. But if you want to do this, you definitely want the software. So I use the software, and of course I would recommend you do as well. I think we got to look at it on the desktop just so you can see it. That's the name of it, but let's quickly go over to the desktop, because I do want you to at least know have an idea what this looks like, I'm going to give you an example of how it works really fast, because it's important that you see what it is. Let's see, desktop, share, get it over there. Start desktop sharing, share, selected area. Okay, share selected area. Let's open that up. You'll get it in a second. I know you can't see it yet. All right, it should be popping on your screen. Okay, so this is called Social Lead Freak. Kind of a stupid name, but in reality, it's appropriate. So it literally logs into your Facebook account. It does, just so it can access Facebook. For some reason, it didn't like that. Why is it doing that? It's going to give me a hard time tonight. It's actually never done that, and it could be because I have other things running that it's doing that. Why is it doing that? Security warning. It didn't stay on the screen long enough for me to read it. Oh man, of course it fails me right when I needed it. Okay, so I'll show you exactly what happens here, okay? Let's just say, just to be fast and quick, if I wanted to target groups and get all the people in groups. So I know for a fact there's in internet marketing, there's lots of groups. So I just type in the keyword and I click search. Now what comes up here is a list of all the groups. And what it actually shows me is how many people are in the groups and so forth. So when I click, let's just say that it said internet marketing right here at the top, I would click that group, and if it has like 10,000 people in it, I know that for a fact. And when I click that group, it populates this block below it that says group members, okay? It actually does, and you know, you're not believing me right now because it won't let me log in, but it actually does. And once it's populated there, all you do is click extract and save, and it's going to save it as a CSV file, and it's going to save it as a list of UIDs. So I can literally select like the 5 biggest groups in internet marketing, and I would have a list of somewhere around 20 to 30,000 UIDs of people interested in internet marketing that I can now take into Facebook and do that specific person targeting, that custom targeting with, okay? You see how positive, how powerful that is? That is an amazing piece of software, and it really works. And I honestly have never had to do what it just did until right now, live on this webinar, and I have no earthly idea why. So, what can I say other than that's the way it goes when you go live. But, all right, so we'll go back into the there. Now that is my affiliate link, and of course, if you buy it, I would appreciate you using that. But I'm not telling you to go rush and buy it. And yes, it is in JVZoo. You probably only need the $37 version of it. There's like 3 different versions of it. If you're not doing this for clients, you probably only need the $37. How do you automate sending your ad to that many individuals? Well, you automate it by, you use this targeting. This is, you create an ad for that group and you use these custom audiences. Those UIDs that you get off of that software by the thousands, you just upload that file right here into a custom audience you create. So for that example, I might just call this Internet Marketing Groups, because that's where I got the names. And I would upload them into the UIDs, and now I would have a custom audience that would appear right here saying Internet Marketing Groups. And now I would just select that, and everybody in that group would receive that ad. And that is amazing. So, like I said, if you're not ready to do Facebook targeting yet, don't run and grab this. But if you get to the point where you're ready to start targeting people in very focused groups, This is like 37 bucks that you want to spend. This is, I bought it just to test it, and then I was shocked at what it did. It gives you some research capabilities as well. So there's a lot of other things that go with it, but I only going to point out here because we're talking about how to do big lists in UI with UIDs. Well, that's how you do it. To try to do that manually would kind of be foolish, but you can be huge. So let's say you do dog training, okay? You can type in dog training groups and pull up everybody doing dog training. Now, most people train specific types of dogs, like a dachshund, okay? So dachshund, I would type in dachshund and look for dachshund groups and pull them up. If you have the natural store, like Carlotta's Pills, she does, she can go in there and do a UID for groups of natural, I don't know what the right words are, but you would know better. The right words to search for natural foods or something like that, or natural food supplements. There's probably groups for that. And pull those names out and start throwing your ad right in front of those exact people on Facebook. It is absolutely amazing. And it will save you money big time on your ads. So I'm not going to talk specifically about making the ads, because the bottom line is, we've talked about it a little bit before, is that you should be joining all of these groups that you want to target, okay? And one of the main reason is you are going to see the ads that other people are using to target those niches. And it's very simple to pick a winning ad to model, okay? Try to do it without doing it on purpose. When you open up Facebook and you look down and an ad catches your eye, that's an ad you want to model, okay? It's very simple. When you look down and an ad catches your eye and makes you want to click, that's an ad you want to model. You wouldn't copy it exactly, but you would model that ad. All right? There's really no magic secret. If an ad catches your eye, it's not just catching yours. We all want to think we're all unique and special and stuff like that, but when it comes to marketing, there's a whole lot of us, and you and I together, we pretty much do the same thing. When an ad catches our eyes, there's lots of other people that are being caught by that same ad. Believe it, okay? So we covered these things tonight. Have you made more sales as a result? I haven't actually used the UIDs for sales. I've been using it for a different purpose, but you wouldn't. I would guarantee you would make more sales using those UIDs. There's just no way you couldn't. Okay, I would go out on a limb and say it's impossible. I've been using it to target it for individuals for specific for my to get more people on my podcast, and that's what I've been doing with it. But the bottom line is, there's no way you would not sell more doing this. It would be impossible not to sell more doing this. This is so targeted, it's outrageous. All right, any other questions? Anything else? I think that's the last slide. Yes. All right. That was 47 minutes. And remember, always remember that you are a marketer who owns a business. Your job is not to be looking for products for you to buy. You don't need to do that anymore. Matter of fact, I've given you enough information. You can, between my YouTube playlists and my blog, where I post all of these for free, that you would have to pay hundreds of dollars for. You'd be crazy to do anything else. But yeah, I will be reposting this, and it'll show up on my blog. It'll also show up on my fan page. So if you haven't liked the fan page, and you probably want to do that because it'll show up there, you'll see it in your stream, Wayne Scherer Fans. So those are the places I will post it. It will probably be up on my blog by tomorrow, which means it'll also be on the fan page by tomorrow. Assuming nothing hiccups or breaks on me while I'm doing this. Let's see, is the best use of these techniques is by setting up Facebook ad for people to first like your biz page and then get them to buy your product. Well, not necessarily. They don't need to necessarily like your biz page first, although this is another good way to target for your biz page, because you can get more specific with this. You would probably increase sales if you were targeting only people who already liked you. That's just the nature of the game. If people already like you, they're more likely to buy from you than people that don't already like you. However, if you're going to go for cold traffic, there is no more targeted way to go for cold traffic than this. Okay, so yes, you can do a lot of things that make a lot of sense, that can make it even more specific. Mixing these things together and getting more specific, they make total sense. So yeah. If you have them on your page, remember, you can actually just target the people already on your page, so you don't actually need the UIDs to do that. I'm kind of thinking out loud here, but once they're already liked your fan page, you don't need their UIDs, because you can just target people that are connected to your page. Remember that little slot, okay? That's very specific. But if they haven't liked your page, but you want to get your product in front of them, well, this will surely do it. And it's likely to make direct sales as well. Well, I know it makes direct sales. I learned this guy, the guy I learned it from is a chiropractor, and he uses it to bring people directly into his office. He actually puts this ad on other chiropractors' sites and brings people directly into his office. And he actually takes it down to the local level. But it's amazing. I know one fellow uses this for a dating product. So he just goes out and looks for people in dating groups. They haven't liked his page, and they buy directly from this far more. He showed me a comparison of the UID list versus standard demographic targeting, and the UID list outperformed the standard demographic targeting for the direct sale of the product by about 20% or something outrageous. Yes, this UID targeting, and it costs less. It costs like this. It depends on the niche and the product and so forth, but this can actually cost. This can cost like 80% less. I'm not telling you it will. I'm telling you it can, but it's going to cost less than other demographic targetings, and that's a fact. You can check it out yourself. It's hard to actually do a comparison other than look at the overall price of a campaigns when they're done, and you would need to set it up in your own niche to know for sure that it's going to work out that way, because things do vary from niche to niche, market to market, on how the pricing works. So I can't guarantee you that, but I can guarantee you that you can get buyers doing this way. All right, any more questions? Any more questions? Okay, I don't see anything popping in. It looks like that's a wrap. Oh, we'll see. I'm not sure what we're going to do on the next one, but your ideas are welcome as well. Recommend a campaign budget. I recommend a budget you can afford. There is no specific budget that is going to make it better. Because the price per click is not dependent on your budget. Well, it could be dependent, but we're talking. If your budget goes up into the thousands and thousands of dollars versus the hundreds or tens or hundreds, that's where that makes a difference. But in the price range that most of us start at, in the $10 or $100 range, those budget differences are not going to make a difference in your cost. All right, let me know if you have any inputs for what you would like to know. I've pretty much covered everything you need for, we now have 4 lessons on Facebook, and everything you need is in those 4 lessons. They are on the blog, so make sure you take advantage of those. All right, so WayneSharer.com. That's where you find these, or on Wayne Sharer Fans on Facebook, and it'll be there. All right. I look forward to seeing you the next time. Remember, if you have a list that's interested in advertising online of any kind, they're also welcome to attend. This is free. There's no password required. You just dropped your name in and joined me, and here you are. And you just got what I paid hundreds of dollars to learn. And so I hope you put it to work if you're going to be doing Facebook advertising. All right. Talk to you the next time. Buy Carlotta's fish oil. The Mojo Natural Store fish oil. That's another plug, a shameless plug for Carlotta. She's on the webinar tonight. Omega-3 fish oil. It is good, actually. It's very good. I love it. Talk to you next time.